All right, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. This is a quick hit, which is a short, I've been calling them micro interviews. It's a short conversation with local artists who are doing something interesting or new. And as is kind of the case with a lot of these, the guests on this episode are people that I haven't had on the show before. And your music is fairly new to me, but I think that's because you're fairly new to everyone as a group, right? So maybe the best way to get this started is if the two of you want to introduce yourselves and just give a bit of information about what you do in the band and what the band's background is.
Yeah, for sure. So we are the Haileys, composed of ourselves. I'm Hailey Hunter.
And I'm Hailey Gary. Yeah.
And we actually aren't from Winnipeg, so I think that's one of the reasons lots of people maybe don't know us.
Okay.
I'm from Manitou,
and I'm just from outside of the city, just in Sanford. But this year we recently moved into the city together, so we have lots of time for music stuff. Yeah, we both kind of have a background in musical theater and that kind of thing, and that's sort of how we came together. But then we also kind of grew up more on like classic rock.
We've been in like
from our dads.
Classic rock cover band. So then that was kind of our inspiration, and like alternative rock bands are more so what we listen to. So I'd say that's where our sound comes together.
Yeah, and then I play guitar.
And I play bass, and we both go back and forth on the vocals.
Yeah.
Well, you know, as people who are from outside of the city, what has your experience been kind of getting into the local music scene? I know right now we're in this weird pandemic time when no one can play shows anyway, but has it been easy for you to kind of feel like a part of the community here, or has there been a bit of a barrier to entry?
I think it's been pretty smooth. Social media helps a lot,
honestly,
with that. Like Instagram is where we do lots of our connecting with people, like just joining. We get joined in these groups with a whole bunch of other bands, and it's great.
That's how we've met people. That's how we met our mixer, actually. It was like just through Instagram and just reaching out to people, because that's the only way to do it these days. So no, everyone's been super welcoming. It's very, very cool.
That's good, because the reason I ask that is because Winnipeg, you know, it seems like a very, very tight-knit music community. And I mean, you know, I haven't been playing bands anymore, but I first played in a band in like the mid-90s, and I'm still friends with some of those people. Like, it's such a, you know, everyone's so tight-knit and everyone's in each other's bands, and it's very incestuous, right? So I always wonder what it's like for people from the outside coming in, but that's good to hear. What, so you have a new single. Is that your first recorded song as a group?
Yes, it is. We produced that one on our own, recorded it, and then we got it mixed, of course. But that's our first one.
Yeah.
What has the response been so far to it?
It's been good. Our friends and family have been a huge support in all the stuff that we do. Like they hype us up and whatever. Like it's great. But then, like, I don't know, other music or other Winnipeg bands or whatever have been really great about
and especially
supporting it.
When we came out with like our lyric video, that was received very well. So we're excited to be releasing new music in the near future.
Yes.
What has it been like to release music during this time when everyone's locked down, when you can't necessarily play a show to promote the single, right?
Yeah, I don't know, because we don't have a ton of experience.
It was hard to know what to expect anyways. So
it's just all we know.
right. So it hasn't affected you because you haven't had the other. Yeah, sure. Exactly. So what's the plan, I guess, going forward? Are you going to be continually releasing more singles? Or are you thinking about putting an album or an EP, something together?
The plan we talked about was releasing another single where we kind of switch it up and we have other Hailey here.
It's going to be confusing for the podcast.
Yeah.
Because it's just Hailey and Hailey going back and forth.
But have a switch up on the vocals, because we are going to go back and forth. So we want to make that clear with two singles, and then we're thinking an EP in maybe the late summer.
Yeah.
Can't promise anything. But.
Cool. Well, no, of course. Is there a kind of an obviously different style depending on whose song it is? I mean, will listeners sort of be able to figure out, oh, this is Hailey 1 versus Hailey 2, or however you refer to yourselves?
I think possibly.
I think we have very different songwriting styles, at least lyrics.
Lyrics
so
would be very
I feel like
different,
that's gonna be something, but
I mean, we're collaborating on all the lyrics anyway.
Living together.
It's just kind of certain verses will be more one Hailey than the other. So maybe people can really notice that stuff. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure that out later.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're both actually named Hailey, because I was wondering if it was like a Ramones kind of thing where you've just sort of taken this name, but I know that's cool. So where can people find the single now? I mean, again, I know you can't play shows to promote it or anything, but it's available online, obviously. What's the best sort of place to give it a listen?
Well, like all the major streaming services, so like Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes,
and if you
anywhere.
really want to support us, you can hit up our Bandcamp and purchase the digital track. But you should be able to find it on all major streaming services.
What was the reason behind putting together a two-piece band? Because I'm sure you're going to get people asking you questions. Well, where's the drummer? Where's this person? Where's that person? Are you comfortable with the size of the group, or do you see it expanding at some point if you can find more Haileys?
I think we're open to it, open to expansion. Ideally, more Haileys, but I think that might be a little bit unrealistic.
Either way, we do have to keep the name. So when our drummer comes along, he's he or she that will have to accept.
It's too good of an opportunity to change the name. It's spelt the same way. It's too perfect.
But do you think that, do you foresee it expanding in terms of just the instrumentation and adding more people, whether it's permanent members of the band or not? Do you want to have a bigger sound eventually?
I think so.
Yeah. Just planning for live shows in the future, even not that that's easy to do, but that's the plan, is to get four total.
Okay. What's your experience been with live shows so far? I mean, I know you played a show at Torque, I think, a few months ago, right? Is that the only one you've done so far in the city, or have you had a few more?
That was I guess our only real gig, aside from just open mic nights and
lots of open
coffee
mics.
houses.
Okay.
But played there twice, and that was really good. That was more of an acoustic set, just us two. But
then we both have experience in other groups playing full band live shows.
Oh, cool. Okay. Who is anyone that anyone would recognize? Are there any bands that you were in before that listeners might be aware of?
Just the Stowaways.
They opened for Doc Walker and the Perpetrator.
No. Harvest Moon. They did Harvest Moon.
Okay.
and Harvest Moon. Yeah.
Cool. So stylistically, how would you describe it? I hate asking this question because everyone hates answering it, but I mean, if someone says, "Hey, I hear you're in a band with someone who has the same name as you," what type of music do you play? Is there kind of a quick Cole's Notes version that you like to give people?
Alternative rock mixed with classic rock. That's sort of what we've been told. That's what people describe it as. So I think that's probably the most accurate description,
especially to describe the first single. Yeah.
So far. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Right. You're new. It could change. By next year, you could be playing something totally different for sure. Are there artists that have influenced the two of you that you both sort of agree on? I'm sure you each have your own influences, but is there sort of a common ground in the Venn diagram of what you listen to that affects sort of the sound of this band?
Yeah. I'd say that crossover in the Venn diagram is just full of the beaches.
Yes. We love the beaches. Yeah. And they're great just because they're all a girl band.
Yeah, similar sound. And we saw them live. There's really a good inspiration for us.
Cool. Is there anything else, or is that the only one that you sort of agree on?
A big overlap for us. Our other tastes in music are pretty different, I think. I am lots into the classic rock. It's all of what I like. Then you like more
I'm kind of alternative indie rock. There's this one band called The Vaccines that I'm really obsessed with. So if anyone knows who they are. Yeah.
It's a very timely name.
Yeah, I know, right? Capitalize on that.
Yeah. So if people want to find out more about what you're doing, the good thing about this being a podcast is someone can listen to it, when it comes out in a couple of weeks, or they can listen to it a year from now. And hopefully by then, maybe the pandemic's over, I hope, and you're playing shows and things like that. What's the best way to kind of keep in touch with what you have going on?
Probably Instagram.
Definitely Instagram, and that's at the Haileys Music.
Okay.
Find all our updates there. That's the best way to
I think that's pretty much it. We have Facebook and stuff too, but it's usually Instagram that we keep up with.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Awesome.